China's exports suffered a shock fall in November and contracted for the fourth month in a row, official data showed today, as the world's second-largest economy struggled to cope with the U.S. trade war. Yet imports fared better than expected, suggesting Beijing's program of domestic stimulus could yet boost the slowing economy. Read more. U.S. jobs data beats expectations despite trade war concerns. Exports fell 1.1% in November year-on-year, a far worse figure than the 1% expansion economists had predicted. Exports fell by 0.9% in October. Falling exports narrowed China's trade surplus, which stood at $39 billion in November. This compared with predictions of a $46 billion surplus and October's $43 billion surplus. China's falling exports highlighted the toll its trade with the US is taking on the country. The two sides are currently negotiating a so-called Phase 1 trade deal, but there is still much uncertainty about its progress. On Thursday, U.S. President Donald Trump said trade talks are moving right along. Yet only days earlier he rattled investors by saying that a trade deal may have to wait until after the 2020 U.S. presidential election. Chinese growth fell to 6% in the third quarter, its lowest figure in at least 27 years. Beijing has responded to the slowdown by injecting stimulus into the economy, for example by lowering a number of borrowing rates. The country's imports unexpectedly rose 0.3% in November, the data showed today, compared to predictions from economists of a 1.8% fall. The better-than-expected imports suggest stimulus measures are boosting domestic demand. Mark Haefele, chief investment officer at UBS Global Wealth Management, said investors should not bank on a resolution to the US-China trade war. Read more. FTSE 100 slumps as Donald Trump suggests China trade deal could come after 2020 US election. He said, "In the year ahead we advocate reasserting some control over your portfolio by choosing investments less dependent on the outcomes from political choices." For example, he recommended choosing domestic over global and picking consumer over business spending. For more on this story, visit the news article link.